Peter Parker is in crisis. Not end-of-the-world crisis. More like, I need a job or I'm gonna live in Aunt May's laundry room crisis. He's got a resume that screams instability. Freelance photographer, sometimes dead, sometimes possessed, sometimes fighting crime in spandex. HR departments swipe left immediately. And when they don't, well, there's the part where his literal body was hijacked by Dr. Octopus for several months, which left Peter with a PhD, technically plagiarized from his own mind. Try explaining that in a job interview. Also, Peter tends to show up bruised, bleeding, or limping. Recruiters think he's a violent junkie. And then there's the cherry on top. He worked for Norman Osborn. Yes, that Norman. The Green Goblin, who is totally reformed now, like a murderer going vegan. Peter crashes and burns through 13 interviews in 9 days. Then finally a miracle. Brian Naring, an old elementary school friend, hooks him up with a job at Rand Enterprises. Brian's now a scientist, like Peter, but with less trauma and more sleep. Peter tours the labs with him, reminiscing about science fairs and middle school pants weddings. You know, classic nerd trauma bonding. Until the Rhino starts rampaging outside. Spidey springs into action, but something's off. Rhino isn't trash talking. He isn't talking at all, which is terrifying. Like when your loud uncle suddenly goes silent at dinner. Peter hurls a truck at him. Rhino tanks it and then collapses. Heart attack. Yup, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is now doing CPR on a Russian tank in a rubber suit in the middle of Midtown. Tuesdays, am I right? Later, in a weird sculpture gallery in the Kingsley Tower, because rich psychos love creepy decor, a butler reports the incident to Roderick Kingsley. You know, super goblin, billionaire, and guy who probably drinks espresso from skull-shaped mugs. He tells Kingsley, Rhino's blood had markers. He's one of theirs. A consumer. Of what? Kale smoothies? Probably worse. Kingsley says to wait, but then an ominous shadow appears and Kingsley whispers, take care of Spider-Man, because when in doubt, outsource to evil. Elsewhere, Peter goes out with friends and flirts with a girl named Shay. Cute. Emotionally unavailable, but cute. After the drinks, he breaks into Rhino's apartment. Because boundaries are for people with mental stability, his spider sense goes nuclear. The pressure builds, his skin crawls. Something's wrong. Very wrong. And then they all show up. Kraven, Vulture, Lizard, Ock. One after another. The room turns into a rogues gallery reunion, like Comic-Con, but everyone wants to kill you. Peter fights back. Dodges Kraven, slams Vulture, kicks Lizard, punches Ock. He's overwhelmed. But here's the thing. Only Peter sees them. Civilians outside just see a guy tearing apart an empty room. It's not a super fight, it's a one-man demolition rave. Next thing he knows, he wakes up at Rand. Brian tries to keep him calm, try to stabilize him, like it's a wellness retreat, but instead of smoothies, it's gaslighting. Peter panics in the mushroom lab, has a breakdown. Brian helps him sit, tries to ground him. Honestly, MVP. Peter remembers being a bullied nerd, surviving school with Brian. He closes his eyes and opens them, standing on the edge of the rooftop. He's about to fall, and then a hand grabs him. The Green Goblin attacks! But nope, Norman Osborn, no goblin mask, just a business suit, steady hands, calm voice, disappointing lack of pumpkin bombs. Peter hallucinated again. Norman saves him. Again! He shows Peter the footage of his breakdown, tells him Rhino had the same reaction, same poison, no smell, no trace, like a silent but deadly gas of doom. Rhino is currently in Ravencroft to be healed from this poison. Peter still sees flashes of the goblin when he looks at Norman, which to be fair is a totally normal response when your almost murderer keeps showing up in tailored suits. He can't trust his senses. He can't trust reality. But hey, at least his LinkedIn is finally active. He heads to Ravencroft to investigate Rhino. Gargoyles whisper threats. His head spins. And then he sees her, Shay Markin, nurse. Same girl from the night out. Coincidence? Marvel says. Absolutely not. Peter flashes back to a memory. Childhood fight with Uncle Ben and Aunt May. Says something awful. Words that hit deep. The kind of thing that makes you wince in therapy 20 years later. Shay snaps him out of it. Just in time. Chaos. Guards are screaming. Peter kicks down the door to Rhino's room. Everyone's unconscious. Standing in the center of the room, a Spider-Woman. Fangs, claws, crimson eyes, and way too much confidence. She turns to Peter and says, Hello, Daddy. Long time no me. Don't leave yet. There is a post-credits scene. Oscorp HQ, press everywhere. Norman's about to resign. A man stands up in the crowd, screams, You killed my wife, and transforms into a cyborg, because apparently everyone has a side gig now. He fires. Norman dodges, leaps forward, rips the cyborg's arm off, slams him into the floor. Casual. Crowd gasps. Norman straightens his tie, hand bleeding, looks into the cameras. I was going to resign, but no, I will stay and fix what I've done. Daddy Osborne ain't going nowhere. Wait, another post-credits scene? Somewhere in the Arizona desert, a team tracks a strange magnetic signature. They find a massive fossilized tree. It's a big rock, but trust them, please. They tell it's a tree from the distant past. It explodes. Of course it does. Beneath it, a doorway. A man crawls out of the rubble, barely alive, from the darkness. A glowing armored figure walks forward. A magical Viking knight, ancient and unreadable, steps into the light. Where is the connection to Spider-Man?